head high. Don't you let them see you cry. That's what my mama told me.
This is a really exciting podcast because it is with two ladies I've only just met, but actually talked a lot to already. Sorry, ladies. They are our headline sponsors for the Inspirational Women of Portsmouth Awards, and it is Sarah and Anna, and you are co-directors of the Middle Group, aren't you?
That's right, yeah.
Thank you, first of all, for supporting us and our kind of passion to celebrate the city of Portsmouth and celebrate the women of Portsmouth. So thank you so much for that. Can you just tell us a little bit about the Middle Group?
Yes. Well, firstly, can I say thank you to you for putting all this together and allowing us to even be here in your space. So we are very grateful. So the Middle Group began a year and a half ago. Anna and I have our own recruitment businesses, which we've run for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've always worked together, so we would meet up in coffee shops with our own trials and tribulations of our businesses for that week. And John Lewis was our favourite. We'd go for a bacon butty and a coffee. And we would just work together, wouldn't we? Bounce ideas off each other. And it took us a while to figure out what it was we wanted to do. And then one day we came up with the Middle Group. So we would offer experienced recruitment consultants all the tools to do what we were doing, so they could just have everything and recruit, and not have to do the hard bit that we had been through. So the Middle Group was born.
Yeah, so I already had my own business. I set up mine, ALS recruitment, and then a couple of months later you started up SLR, didn't you?
Yes.
So that's been about four and a bit years.
So actually, starting a recruitment company in the middle of the beginning of lockdown.
That was either the best thing or the most
Yeah.
stupid thing to do.
Yeah. My partner was very adamant it was the most stupid thing to do, which is great because that drives me to prove him wrong.
Hold my drink, baby.
Pretty much was the conversation, wasn't it? But why not? You know, a lot of people were forced to working from home at that time. We all had our own responsibilities. We all had, you know, the children hanging off our legs. And we did it. We proved we could do it. So
that's incredible.
Why not give... And I think that opened the eyes of a lot of people that they can work from home and they can work smart in the time that they have, you know, which is what we have... That's... I think what we do best is that we might only have 3 hours to work today, so we'll work, and in that 3 hours, you know, you can get 8 hours work done in 3 hours because you just work smart and you only do what actually really needs to be done, not what you think to fill out the 8 hours of working in an office.
What would you say are the values behind the Middle Group? So you, as two separate individuals, had two separate companies, and you've come together and you've created this Middle Group company. What would you say is like embedded in that? I got a sense of it when you were describing it.
I think for me, when we started our own businesses, so my youngest is the same age as your eldest. When you have a baby and you go back to work, you quickly realise that, especially in recruitment, the only option on the table for us was to be full-time, so we had to go back. And when you then look at childcare bills and you realise, hold on a second, I'm working full-time to just pay childcare bills and not be with my child.
It's one of the most cruel ironies, isn't it?
Seriously, and really something that wasn't considered when you're in baby making, you know, you're just going to be on this cloud of this little baby, and they're not going to grow up, and they're not going to be little rat bags that answer back. And so for me, I think the value is that there had to be more to that, and that work-life balance is what we really believe we can give people.
I think we're lucky in recruitment because we've realised that actually we can do what we do from home, and we can create a work-life balance for ourselves that you can't get in an employed recruitment agency. It just won't happen. The expectations are there for you to be 5 days a week. And actually, regardless of whether you work 3 days in recruitment, 5 days in recruitment, you always have to answer your phone. It's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
I feel really grateful that I work for myself.
Yeah.
And it's like captain my own ship kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm very poor, but no one can take that school run away from me.
No.
You know,
And they go so quick.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
They do. And it's really funny having my 14-year-old and my 9-year-old. Like my 14-year-old's very much past all that, you know, needing mummy in that way kind of. So I'm really treasuring those.
Clinging
those
on,
little
yeah,
walks.
definitely.
So much so that I don't know if my 9-year-old can cross a road on his own yet, because I'm like, I'll do it with you, darling. Let's think about that. So what would you say you're really proud of? There's loads you've achieved there. Like, give me 2 things in the past couple of years that you like, boss it out. Celebrate thyself.
Oh, wow. I think it's so hard. We get so many compliments. We were talking about this earlier. We get so many compliments from people saying, like, oh, you're a superwoman. How did you do it all? And we find it really like, well, we're doing it. Like, no, we're not doing that much.
It's a passion, isn't it?
It is.
When it's a passion thing, you're so driven.
Yeah.
And you kind of
and it's just,
do it
yeah.
passion as opposed
And
to
there's hard moments, but it is quite easy. I suppose because we've got each other to bounce off. I mean, if we looked at how many minutes we actually talk to each other on the phone, and 80% will be talking about our kids or our partners.
That's brilliant.
So I think for me, I'm proud that we've done this, that we've found
together
a way to work together,
Yeah.
And also that we're still driven. We've still got big ideas. We've got ambitions and plans, and you know, we've got lots that we still want to achieve. So I'm proud we're doing it together.
What would Beyonce say? What are you proud of, lady?
What am I proud of? I think I'm just proud that we're able to offer what we're doing to other people, because it is different to the normal employed role where you don't have that flexibility.
There isn't any really other models out there.
There isn't really.
Like
And
us.
I did write down actually when I was preparing for it, and I was like, I think being able to offer what we're offering, in the sense that taking your child to the farm or to a playgroup is the norm and not a luxury.
Yes. No, I'm sorry, is it okay if I?
Yeah.
But like, I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
But I'm actually also doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
Taking them to a playgroup, taking them to school, being there to pick them up without feeling guilty, like you're having to answer to someone and say, you know, the amount of people I speak to that say, you know, even asking if your child's sick, like even to having to go to your boss and say, or, you know, they're worried about how they're going to be seen, but your child's sick. What, you know, just not making that normal life.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that and I celebrate that. Because I was going to ask you, but actually you've just answered that so eloquently. What you feel your organisation's doing in terms of empowering women, but actually that's, you know, that's there, isn't it? That's fantastic. My next question then would be, generally, like from your observation, what would you say are the main challenges for women in the city? Like women in business in the city.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on that already,
yeah.
and you exist as a result of it. But are there any other major things that you think, oh, come on, talk to us?
So, I think a fundamental issue for people would be childcare. It's a massive, you know, it's difficult, it's expensive, it's, you know, it's got to be worth going back to work those hours because you're paying out the same amount in childcare and it's, you know.
And I was like, my parents live in Africa. But at one stage I was like, are you sure you don't like the cold? Because that would make such a difference, isn't it? When you've got that generation to support you with the childcare.
And I hear you there, because we don't. All our family, my family's in America, my partner's family's down in Cornwall and a lot older. So we truly are just us without the grandparents, and so it's always paid childcare.
Yes.
But actually, for the last 2 years since Lily was born, I've hardly, apart from relying on my sister and my mother-in-law, I've hardly I've had them at home more.
Or COVID, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. COVID has done that to us, hasn't it?
I know.
That's true, yeah.
But I've been more productive in the last 2 years.
You're like unicorn.
I'm a unicorn.
How have
I'll
you
take
been?
that.
I'm just going to relay back to you what I've heard,
Yeah,
and
okay.
my brain is short circuiting.
Yeah.
So you've got not one, not two, but 3 children,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll start there. Like I said earlier on, 2 hands. I would lose that 3rd child. And your 3rd child is under 2.
Yeah.
But you've just said you've been the most productive in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That does not equate in my brain.
Yeah.
Like, how did that?
I don't
How
know.
did
I don't know.
So, a little Anna story is when she was pregnant with Lily, they went on holiday, and was it a week, 10 days?
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Yeah, it was 2
and
weeks.
she made the most amount of money
In the
she's
2 weeks?
ever made in 2 weeks, in that period of time, like game-changing amount of money, by working 2 hours a day whilst on holiday.
Wait, what? Sorry. So you were on holiday, and like, so basically, when I go on holiday, I get really fat and lie on a
Oh,
beach.
don't get me wrong, I was pregnant at the time, so I didn't get fat.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. You were on holiday and
Working whilst eating ice cream in an all-inclusive buffet. Yeah.
and you managed to kind of hustle 2 hours work every day.
Yeah, I did. But with
I'm
our
hanging out
line
with
of
young
work,
people.
and yeah, but when you run your own business, right?
I
you,
do.
You
and I'm
just,
still poor.
I know. So you need to join us in recruitment then. don't you?
Yeah. You want a job?
I just don't understand.
But I just, it was just 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's it. The kids were napping, or my other half was able to entertain them for a few hours, and it would just be get my head down, get things done, move on.
Okay. Can I take a moment to celebrate your other half as well within that?
Yeah.
Because actually,
Yeah.
we need to recognise that men
100%.
can
Yeah.
be really
Yeah,
instrumental
they
to our
can.
kind of progression
Yeah,
and
definitely.
empowerment, and that doesn't take away from what you've achieved there.
No.
But wow, I just can't. I'm in awe of that.
Thanks.
I'm in awe of that.
Mm.
What advice would you give them?
So for me, school, get your GCSEs. If I could tell myself to have I was on par to get my maths, and I didn't. I mucked around in the last year and I got a D, which means nothing. You need a C and above for a maths GCSE, which I know has all changed now.
Yeah.
And there were times in my life where I wanted to go off and do different things, and I couldn't because I needed this maths. And I could have gone back to college, but financially, support around me, that wasn't something that could be done. However, I'm now where I am, running 3 businesses without it. So it's not the be all and end all, but it really is just a level that if you can just put your head down, get your GCSEs, the world is your oyster. And save some money. Don't piss it all up the wall. Yeah. Just put a little bit aside. I wasn't given good financial education from my parents when I was younger, and I think that served me, that brought me problems in my 20s, which didn't necessarily need to be there. So
And we don't. I don't know if we have it enough in schools. I've got my 9-year-old the Go Henry card.
Same for
And
my boys.
It's just amazing to see him negotiate financially everything and use numbers everywhere and that. So he's a bit of a hustler now. He'll hustle a pound up his brother and save it. Give it to me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Fantastic. I think
I love it.
with lockdown as well, where I did some homeschooling and I saw actually what the education is, it's so irrelevant. Even at 6 years old, it's so irrelevant to life. So I agree with you. Financial education is paramount.
What about you, Anna?
Again, I don't think I'd be where I am today if I took any advice that I'm going to give myself now. However, we were talking about this because this was a really hard one, because we're kind of actually we wouldn't be where we are today doing what we're doing if our life had taken a different path, or
the journey would be slightly different, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
You might end up at the same place, but it might have been easier to kind of. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, for me, I think I have always been more mature than my age, I think.
Okay.
I've always I haven't wished my life away, but I remember being 16, 17, I can't wait to be 18, can't wait to be 21, can't wait to have my own house, like just wishing my life away a bit. So I think if I were to go back and say to my 16-year-old self, I don't know why I'm focusing on 16, but you think, I don't know, you think teenagers 16, don't you? I would just say to myself, just slow down, enjoy, have fun, you know.
Be 16.
Yeah, be 16.
Before the responsibilities.
Yeah.
I
was
know,
like at 15.
Constantly, like it's a constant.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm still your mother?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't go away? Why did no one tell me this?
I'm still here. Yes. Yeah, good advice. But like you say, if you took it, you'd be different.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I might have enjoyed things a little bit more rather than not really, you know, maybe just lived in the moment a little bit more and not wondering what's next. I still have that issue now. I'm always thinking like, what next?
Yeah.
But hasn't it given you an incredible sense of grit and work ethic?
I think so.
So that extra level of maturity, as you're saying, would have enabled you to be like, 2-week holiday, I'm going to work 2 hours. I can't even get my hair
It's when you have your own business, it just doesn't stop, does it? You can't just switch it off. If I'm not doing what I'm doing, then you know,
it's not going to happen.
No,
it all comes.
Yeah,
like you get, when you run your own business, I get that a lot. I'm like, no one's going to sort this out, are they?
If you're not working, it's not happening.
So it's lovely that you've got each other as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
What have you done in the past week to be kind to yourself? Do you know, I ask my kids this. I teach dance all the time.
That's really good,
isn't it?
Yeah, I might bring that up with my boys.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
And when I first start asking them, they don't know how to articulate being kind to others and being kind to themselves. They don't know how they don't know the difference, especially the diddly ones. But yes, my question to you.
Oh, I'm taking that home with me.
I
I took Monday off.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be bothered.
Did you take Monday off and then clean the house though?
No, I went for a walk with Sammy, who works with me. I forced her not to work. She was very uncomfortable with it, and I said, "No, I don't want to do it. Come on, let's go for a walk." So we went for a walk. We had a coffee. Yeah. We put our feet up on the sofa and watched the Janet Jackson documentary, and I loved every second of it.
Oh my goodness!
And then I remember,
I've heard about
oh, it is so good, and it's from her. It's all from her. And then I remembered how much I love Janet Jackson's music, and I didn't feel guilty. Before I would have felt guilty because I should be doing something. I should be
productivity.
But no, actually, I needed this time, and I'm getting better at that. It's okay. Yeah. I've got this far, so taking a day off isn't going to hurt.
Yeah. But what about you, Anna? What have you done in the last week to be kind to yourself?
I'm not very good at this.
Are you not?
No. No.
I guess when you're hustling and have 3 babas, self-kindness kind of goes to the bottom part.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it as a narrative.
Yeah. And I think, it's a good thing to be obsessed about. But, so 2 things. The other day, my other half has had an injury, so he's off work at the minute, and my younger 2 are going to a new preschool, which is on the park, and we've been walking them there. And instead of me like rushing to get back, I suppose it's like forced to do something for me, really. There's a coffee shop, and we went and got a coffee, and he sat down outside the coffee shop, and I'm like, bit twitchy, and he's like, we'll sit down, we'll have a coffee, and then we'll walk back. And I was like, okay, but I really needed it, and we literally just sat, and the park was empty, and just sat down, and then also, it's not really for me, it's for my younger daughter, but I take her to a swimming lesson every week, and I love it. But that's my
Can I tell you an embarrassing secret about swimming lessons? My Sammy's mixed race was having a swimming lesson. And I was doing that thing, trying to catch up on emails, and towards the end of the lesson, I realised that I'd been waving at the wrong mixed race.
Oh my gosh!
Parenting fail. file number 5,299. There were two mixed race boys in there, and they did have similar builds, but Hugh noticed. He was like,
I was
"Mum,
going to say, did you notice?
what did you think of my breaststroke just then?" And I was like, this was so... Why were you waving over there? That's so smart.
It's because you were distracted on your phone, that's what it was.
I'm terrible parenting. Anyway, but that brings me joy to think that we managed two things for self-kindness and fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for sponsoring the awards. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. This is our first podcast.
Yay!
Yay! It's been such a pleasure to meet you, Ronnie. It really has.
And you. Cheers.